In the previous video, we completed the detection part of the different elements in the given organic compound. Now we have to discuss about the quantitative estimation of different elements present in the organic compound. Now we know what are the elements that are associated with the given substance. Now we have to find out their weight percentage in the given substance. So what is the meaning of the quantitative estimation of elements? The process of determining the weight percentage of the each and every element in the given organic compound is called as the quantitative estimation of elements in the organic compound. See, now we have to find out the weight of the each element in 100 grams of the substance or in the fixed mass of the substance. The relative weights of the different elements in the organic compound to be determined, that is normally expressed in terms of the weight percentage. That is nothing but the weight of the each element present in the 100 grams of the given substance. See, if the given organic compound contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, three elements, a ternary compound. So this we determine, this we know, this basic information of the different elements that are present in the compound, we know. Now, in this chapter, in this section, what we do is, now we have to find out if the carbon is present, how many grams of the carbon is present in the 100 grams of that substance. That is called as the weight percentage of carbon. Similarly, the weight of the hydrogen in 100 grams of the given substance is called as the weight percentage of hydrogen. Similarly, weight of the oxygen associated with the every 100 grams of the substance is called as the weight percentage. It is not a physical process, it is a chemical procedure. By using the chemical procedures, that is, we have to find out the weight percentage of the different elements present in the given compound. After knowing the qualitative information about the substance, that is, nature of the elements that are present in the given organic compound, then we go for the quantitative step to determine the quantitative information, relative proportions of the different elements present in the given organic substance to be determined. If it is taken for that is 100 grams of the substance, that is, if you determine the weight of the each and every element in 100 grams of the given organic substance, that is called as weight percentage of the different elements. You can take for the 100 grams or you can take for the any this thing, the ratio will be always same. See, now, see, carbon and hydrogen. What are the different procedures that are used to determine and these elements? First, estimation of the carbon. One, that is estimation of carbon and hydrogen. Liebig's method. it is a combustion method. See, for the detection of the carbon and hydrogen, we have used a chemical procedure known as the Liebig's method. The carbon and hydrogen are estimated, their percentage are determined in the given organic compound by the method known as the Liebig's combustion method or Liebig's method. This can be a Liebig's method or Liebig's combustion method. So, what is the procedure? That is the name of the experimental procedure that is used for the detection and estimation of the carbon hydrogen is same, that is Liebig's method. See, what is the principle in this method? In this method, that is the given organic compound, carbon is converted into carbon dioxide, hydrogen is converted into the H2O. Not water, that's the H2O. H2O can be a liquid, H2O can be solid, H2O can be gas. If it is in the liquid form, normally we call it as the water. If it is in the gas form, we call it as the water vapor or steam. That is, if it is in the solid state, we call it as the ice. But chemically same in any way. So in this method, Liebig's method, see, known mass of the given organic compound is burnt, and during the burning, carbon part of the organic compound is converted into carbon dioxide. The hydrogen part of the organic substance is converted into the H2O. It's a combustion method. The process of burning of a substance in the presence of excess of oxygen is called as the combustion process. During the combustion, that is, all the elements associated with the given organic substance or any substance are converted to their corresponding oxide. Carbon to carbon dioxide, hydrogen to, that is H2O, that is the sulfur to sulfur dioxide. So that phosphorus to P2O5. Like this we have seen, for every generalization there will be an exception, but if the nitrogen is present in the thermochemistry you discuss, if the nitrogen is present in the given substance, that on burning in the presence of the oxygen, the nitrogen part is converted to the not a nitrogen oxide, that is elemental nitrogen. So anyhow, that is the known mass of the given organic compound is burnt. During the burning, the carbon is converted to carbon dioxide and hydrogen is converted to H2. That is, here the entire carbon present in that is the given organic substance, known mass of the given organic substance is converted into the carbon dioxide. That is, after this process, the entire carbon is converted to carbon dioxide, no carbon is left, that is not converted to the carbon dioxide. So W grams of the organic compound is, by using the appropriate technique, it is burnt and converted into the carbon dioxide, hydrogen is converted into the H2O. So that is, we are estimating the carbon in Liebig's method by converting in the form of carbon dioxide. We are estimating the weight percentage of the hydrogen in the given organic compound by Liebig's combustion method by converting the hydrogen into H2O or water. So this is the combustion procedure, this is the basic principle. How it is converted into their oxide, that is a different story. See, the carbon dioxide is, that is sent into the KOH, that is potassium hydroxide solution, potash solution, that is it is converted into the K2 CO3. So anyhow, it is absorbed by the KOH. This is sent to the calcium chloride. It is converted into the hydrated calcium chloride. Calcium chloride or concentrated H2SO4, which absorbs the water, or we can use the P2O5 also, phosphorus pentoxide also. This is CaCl2 6H2O. hydrated, anhydrous becomes hydrated. To eliminate the water from any system, moisture from the any system, that is exposed to calcium chloride. Calcium chloride has the ability to absorb. Due to this, what happens? That is, due to this, what happens? The weight of the KOH increases, here calcium chloride increases. From this, we can find out the weight of the, that is carbon dioxide, and we can find out the weight of the H2O formed. So that is the known mass of the organic compound is burnt in the presence of the excess of oxygen. Carbon is converted into the carbon dioxide and hydrogen is converted into the H2O. See that during the experiment, the entire organic compound is completely burnt in the presence of the oxygen. The entire carbon associated with the material is converted into the carbon dioxide, and the entire oxygen, that is the hydrogen present in the organic compound, is converted into the H2O, and KOH is absorbed by the, that is trapped by using the KOH, and H2O is trapped by using the calcium dehydrated agent, that is the calcium chloride. It absorbs the moisture. Due to this, weight of the calcium chloride increases, here weight of the KOH bulb increases. The increase in the KOH bulb is that is equal to the weight of the carbon dioxide. Increase in the calcium chloride tube after due to the absorption is the, that is weight of the H2O formed in the experiment. That is, you know the weight of the organic substance taken, and that is you know that experimentally you know the weight of the, that is carbon dioxide formed, and weight of the, that is H2O formed. So from the weight of the H2O formed, and that is weight of the carbon dioxide formed, and weight of the organic compound, we can find out their that is weight percentages. See, in this method, in the Lewis method, so there is a special apparatus for this. So given organic compound or known mass of the organic compound, 1 gram or 2 gram, a fixed mass of the organic compound to be taken for the experiment. We should know the mass of the organic compound. See here, what they do is, they take in a combustion tube. So it's an apparatus where the combustion is, burning is conducted, oxidation of the organic material is conducted, is called as the combustion tube. That's all. This is a tube-like device, right? It is a tube-like device. This is the cork is fitted at the both the ends. This is the combustion tube. This is the crucible. That is where this is the sample. This is the copper oxide plus organic substance. Given known mass of the organic substances, that is mixed with the excess of copper oxide, and then this is, through this, the oxygen is supplied. When oxygen is sent through this, that is the entire air present in this is comes out, then this is calcium chloride tube or U tube containing the calcium chloride with calcium chloride to absorb the moisture H2O. Then it is sent into the another container . 。   . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Here some, this is bulb containing the KOH solution. See, this is the KOH solution, potash solution. This absorbs the carbon dioxide, KOH plus carbon dioxide gives the K2CO3 plus H2. Right? And here calcium chloride takes the water, absorbs the water and convert it into the CaCl2 6H2 hydrate. So oxygen is carried. This is kept in the furnace or strongly heated. So known mass of the organic compound is taken into you know the mass of the organic compound. So taken into a crucible and mixed with the excess of copper oxide. And that is closed through the one end, that the oxygen is continuously supplied. To the other end, the cork is fitted and that is attached to that is absorption unit. The first it is connected to the U-tube containing the calcium chloride or any dehydrating agent which has the good ability to absorb the H2O or water. That is then that is sent into the KOH, concentrated solution of the potassium hydroxide, which absorbs the carbon dioxide. To absorb the carbon dioxide, KOH is the best reagent. So this is the setup. This is called as the adsorption unit. This is called as the combustion unit. This is called as that is the oxygen unit, oxygen gas, supplying unit or carrier gas. So due to the heating, what happens during this process? What happens? Carbon reacts with that is oxygen as well as the copper oxide. That is converted into or take the word copper oxide. Also helps in the converting the carbon dioxide and copper is formed. This is hydrogen plus this oxygen also available. Copper oxide gives the H2O plus copper. So in addition to that, the oxygen also reacts with the carbon and hydrogen associated with the organic substance and converted into this. This process called as 2 to 3 hours. So during this process, we are seeing that the entire that is a carbon part is converted into the carbon dioxide and entire hydrogen associated with the W grams of the organic compound is converted to the H2. So now this is coming out. So due to this, what happens? That gas is coming here. It absorbs the water is absorbed by the U-tube and carbon dioxide is absorbed by the KOH bulb. So due to this, what happens are the potash solution, a container. Due to this, what happens? That is weight of the calcium chloride increases, weight of the KOH solution increases. So here you must know that before the experiment, to carry out this experiment, you should know the weight of the organic compound taken first. 1 gram or 0.5 gram or 0.2 grams or 1.5 grams or whatever it is, you should know the one. Second thing is that before experiment, you should weigh before the experiment, you should weigh the weight of this is a U-tube containing the calcium chloride guard. Find out the weight and also find out the weight of the KOH. So this is carried. So gases are moving, carbon dioxide is absorbed here and this gives the account for the H2O formed, this gives the account for that is carbon dioxide formed. So after the experiment is completed, then what you have to do is, one thing, what you have to do is here, that is find out the weight of the calcium chloride. So if you determine the weight of the calcium chloride tube will be more after the experiment than the before the experiment, because in addition to calcium chloride, H2O is the absorbed by this and its weight increases. Similarly, weight of this also increases. Say the increase in the weight is equal to increase in the calcium chloride tube. Increase in the calcium chloride tube is equal to, by increase due to water, H2O. Due to H2O absorbed by this. H2O absorbed by this is equal to, we are assuming that is H2O formed from the hydrogen of the organic substance. Similarly, this increases. Say that is X grams of this is and increase in the weight is X grams and this is increase in the weight is Y grams. Simple procedure. So, take the known mass of the organic compound, place in the combustion tube, heat the combustion tube in the furnace by in the current of oxygen gas, and the gases that are coming, that are first sent through the calcium chloride tube which absorbs the H2O formed by the hydrogen associated with the organic compound, and then sent into the KOH solution which absorbs the carbon dioxide that is formed by the carbon associated with the given organic compound. Due to this, the weight of the U tube in calcium chloride tube increases. The increase in the calcium chloride tube is equal to weight of the water formed. The weight of the KOH bulb also increases. That is, increase in the KOH bulb is equal to, that is the solution is equal to the weight of the carbon dioxide formed. So carry out the experiment and find out this data. So from this data, that is we can find out the weight percentage of that is carbon and hydrogen in the given experiment. Through the single experiment, we are going to determine the weight percentage or mass percentage of that is the two elements, that is carbon as well as this one. Some precautionary measures to be taken. This is the basic procedure. Precautionary measures have to be taken. What precautionary measure have to be taken? Suppose if this contains the nitrogen, so when it is heated with the copper oxide, it is converted into the elemental nitrogen, right? It is converted into the elemental nitrogen, no doubt. So that is oxygen or whatever. But along with this, there is a problem of formation of that is nitrogen oxides. Small amount of the nitrogen oxides are formed. That is, if the given organic compound also contains the nitrogen along with the carbon hydrogen, it is converted into the elemental nitrogen, but small amount of the nitrogen is converted into the corresponding oxides, nitrogen oxides. So these nitrogen oxides are absorbed by the KOH solution. Along with the H2O and CO2, this gas also comes out and they go into the KOH, they react with the KOH. The increase in the weight is not due to carbon dioxide, increase in the weight is due to nitrogen oxides also. Therefore, to prevent this, what we have to do, that is here, that is copper gauze is used, copper mesh. Copper gauze. Copper gauze is used. This copper gauze decomposes the N2O plus copper gives, that is N2 plus copper oxide. NO plus copper gives the N2 plus copper oxide. Similarly NO2. So nitrogen oxides are decomposed by the elemental copper mesh, the gauze which is placed near this one, end of the exit. So that is now if the nitrogen is present due to this arrangement, if the nitrogen is present in the given organic compound, the entire nitrogen comes out in the form of elemental nitrogen. The elemental nitrogen has no reaction with the calcium chloride or no reaction with the KOH. Therefore, that is that precaution to be taken. If there is no nitrogen at all in the given organic compound, because already we detected the elements, we know the what information about whether the given substance contains the nitrogen or not. There is no need to use the what this type of arrangement there. If the nitrogen is present, copper gas to be taken. Otherwise, you will get the what false reading. Suppose if the given organic compound contains the halogen, that is the halogen is present. During this heating, what happens? That is part of the halogen is converted to the elemental halogen. Part of the halogen is converted to by reacting with this that is the copper. It is converted into that is copper halide. Copper halide is formed. If the copper halide is the organic halogen reacting with the copper or the copper oxide, if it is converted to the copper halide, then what happens? The copper halides are the volatile. Yesterday, Bilstein's test. Copper halides are the volatile compounds. They undergo the vaporization. High temperature condition, they exist in the gas form. Therefore, what happens? That is, the halogen during the heating is converted to the copper halides, or if the halogen comes, then what happens? It reacts with the copper and converted to the copper halide. See, the copper halides are the gases, they go into the, they react with the KOH. So, again, that copper halides are, the halogen is absorbed by the KOH solution in the form of copper halide. Therefore, to prevent this, what they do is silver mesh is used here. Silver gauze is used. When, if the given organic compound contains, that is halogen, any halogen at a chlorine, bromine, iodine, that is silver mesh to be used near the silver gauze to be used near the exit of the combustion tube. Why? What it do? It prevents that is copper chloride, say the word copper, silver halide formed. When come into contact with the, here it is formed, it is coming contact with this one, then what happens? Silver halide is AgCl is formed and copper is produced. This is the reaction. Right? Copper halide is converted into the silver halide. Copper halide is volatile, but silver halide is non-volatile. That remains on the surface of the silver rod. Therefore, this arrangement is required if the organic compound contains the halogen. And if the given organic compound contains the sulfur, if it contains the sulfur, so during the heating process, it is converted into the sulfur dioxide gas. Sulfur dioxide has a reaction with the KOH. The properties of the sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide are more or less same. Carbon dioxide gives the white milky solution when passed into the lime water. Similarly, sulfur dioxide also gives the white milky solution with calcium carbonate solution, calcium hydroxide, lime water. So this is absorbed by the carbon dioxide. Sir, this is absorbed by the KOH solution. So that is like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide also absorbed by the KOH. So increasing the weight of this tube, this container, KOH container is due to the carbon dioxide as well as sulfur dioxide. To prevent this, what they do is, that is lead chromate is used. That is a fused lead chromate is used near the exit of the combustion. This is lead chromate. It prevents what is the role of the lead chromate? How it is preventing? It is preventing lead chromate absorbs the carbon dioxide. This one, sulfur dioxide. Lead chromate during the heating is converted into that is lead monoxide plus Cr2O3 plus oxygen. This is the decomposition process. Now, sulfur lead monoxide is a basic oxide. Sulfur dioxide is a this acidic oxide, non-metallic oxide. Oxygen reacts with this one and convert into the lead sulfate. So that is lead chromate is absorbing that sulfur dioxide and converting into lead sulfate, which is a non-volatile substance. So this is there. I told our reaction. If you combine, you will get the overall reaction. What is there? That is PbCrO4 plus sulfur dioxide gives PbSO4 plus Cr2O3, chromium trioxide. So now it is not allowing, PbCrO4 is not allowing, that is sulfur dioxide to come out of the combustion tube. If it comes out of the combustion tube, then it is absorbed and with the KOH solution. Therefore, this. If it is an hydrocarbon, just it is an hydrocarbon, CXHY, then there is no need to use the copper gas or silver gas or lead chromate. If it is a hydrocarbon with nitrogen, no halogen, no sulfur, these need not be used. If that is the halogen is present, no nitrogen, sulfur, then silver gas to be used. And if it contains the sulfur, no, that is nitrogen and the other one, that halogen, then the only lead chromate to be used. So depending upon the requirement, that is, we know the qualitative information, based on that we can find out this one. So that is slightly the structure of the combustion tube is modified based on the nature of the elements. I told about the function of the each connection in the combustion tube, right? And next one is the now estimation, how to estimate this one. So now the estimation of carbon, percentage of carbon. How to find out the percentage of carbon? See, now we know that. Now first one is the mass of organic substance used for the experiment, that is taken, used or taken, that is say the W grams. And you know that before the experiment you determine that you have taken the fixed mass of the organic substance for to estimation of the carbon. And now during this process, what is happening? The entire carbon present in the W grams of the organic compound is converted into the carbon dioxide. That is coming out in the form of carbon dioxide. Mass of the carbon dioxide is directly proportional to the mass of the carbon in the given W grams of the organic substance. Right. Next, mass of that is carbon dioxide formed is equal to X grams. This is nothing but the increase in the KOH solution. The weight of the KOH solution increases due to absorption of the carbon dioxide. We are assuming that the entire carbon is converted into the carbon dioxide. Entire carbon dioxide produced is absorbed by the KOH. Therefore, W grams of the organic substance on complete burning is producing the X grams of the carbon dioxide. X grams of carbon dioxide. This we know, experimentally we know. Now, see carbon dioxide is CO2. Its molecular mass is 44. 32 plus 12, 44. Molecular mass. So this is the 1 mole of this contains, 1 molecular weight of this contains 12 grams of this and 32 grams of this. So now we have to find out So every 44 grams of carbon dioxide contains molar mass of carbon dioxide contains how many grams? One atomic weight of the carbon, that is 12 grams of carbon. It contains the 12 grams of the carbon according to the formula. Just now, how many grams of this is formed? X grams of carbon dioxide contains how many grams of the carbon? Agreed. X grams of the carbon dioxide is produced, and this X grams of the carbon dioxide contains how many grams of the carbon? So according to standard relation, that is, we can find out the weight of the carbon present. So weight of carbon in W grams of organic substance is equal to, that is X into 12 by 44. Simple relation. Weight of, see, we are determining the weight of the carbon in X grams of the carbon dioxide and weight of the carbon in W grams of the organic substance. How? And we are assuming that is in entire carbon present in the W grams of the carbon organic compound is converted into carbon dioxide. Weight of the carbon that is present in the carbon dioxide is equal to the weight of the carbon in W grams of the organic substance. Why do you take that way? We are assuming that carbon dioxide is formed from the organic substance. The entire carbon is converted into the carbon dioxide. So we can write like this. Now the question is, if W grams of the organic compound, organic substance contains how many grams of carbon? This many contains how many grams of carbon? That is X into 12 by 44 is the relation for the weight of the carbon. W grams of the organic compound contains this many grams of carbon. In organic substance, this is the carbon weight, and 100 grams of the organic substance contains how much carbon? The percentage of the carbon is nothing but the weight of the carbon in 100 grams of the organic substance. Same thing we are doing. Now that is called as the weight percent of carbon is equal to, that is called as the weight percentage of the carbon according to the definition, that is X by W into 12 by 44 into 100. Simple relation. That is equal to percentage of carbon in the given organic substance is equal to weight of carbon dioxide formed by weight of organic substance used or taken, that is W, into 12 by 44 into 100. This is the simple relation. You know the weight of the organic substance taken for the experiment. You know the increase in the weight of the KOH bulb or solution. That is, so with this you can find out the experimentally, you know, this and this, just by using this equation we can find out this one. So in this procedure we are assuming that is the entire carbon present in the W grams is converted into that is carbon dioxide, and entire carbon dioxide is absorbed by the KOH solution. Increase in the KOH solution, weight of the KOH solution is weight of the increase is equal to the weight of the carbon dioxide. This is the procedure to calculate the percentage of carbon in the given organic compound by combustion method or Liebig's method. So now, estimation of the hydrogen. estimation of the hydrogen. Simple. Carbon and hydrogen, that is B. Percentage of hydrogen. How to determine the weight per mass percent of hydrogen in the given organic compound? You know the procedure. The known mass of the organic compound is 1. Both the experiment, by using this experiment, and weight percentage of the both the elements can be determined. Therefore, the mass of the substance taken for the carbon estimation and that is hydrogen estimation is same. Mass of organic compound used. Organic substance taken for experiment. Experiment is W grams. But weight of the water formed. Hydrogen is converted into water. That is mass of H2O formed. H2O formed is equal to Y grams. This is not W, the X grams. The weights of the carbon dioxide and weights of the this thing is not same. Will not be same. So in the same experiment, therefore we can't use the word X here. That is Y grams. So we are assuming that this is nothing but the increase of U-tube. Calcium chloride tube weight, increase in the calcium chloride. That is increase of CaCl2 tube. Second case. Third case. So water H2O. So molecular mass is 18. Every 18 grams of water contains how much? 18 grams of the water contains how much hydrogen? That is, we have to find out the 2 grams of hydrogen. According to the formula H2, 112, 18 grams of the water contains 2 grams of hydrogen. Here, Y grams of water which is formed in the experiment contains how much hydrogen? That is equal to, that is weight of hydrogen in W grams of H2O, W grams of organic substance is equal to, that is Y into 2 by 80. See here, W grams of the organic substance. You are saying that W grams of organic substance. We are assuming that whatever the hydrogen present with the W grams of the organic substance is converted into the water, and whatever the hydrogen present in the W grams, Y grams of the water formed during this experiment is converted into the is equal to the weight of the hydrogen in W grams of the organic substance. Now this is W grams of organic substance contains how much hydrogen? That is Y into 2 by 18 grams of hydrogen. This is the hydrogen. Now weight percentage of the hydrogen is nothing but the weight of the hydrogen in 100 grams of the organic substance. W grams of the organic substance contains this much hydrogen, and 100 grams of that is organic substance contains how many grams of hydrogen? That is nothing but that is weight percentage of hydrogen. That is the weight percent of hydrogen is equal to, this is Y by W into 2 by 18 into 100. So where weight percentage of hydrogen is equal to weight of H2O formed in this experiment by weight of organic substance used for the experiment into 2 by 18 into 100. So what are the experimental parameters? The Lewis method, you know the weight of the water formed, that is equal to the increase in the weight of the calcium chloride Q increases the weight of the dehydrating agent, and that is and second thing is the weight of the organic compound used. That is, there is a you conducted the experiment, the weight of this one. By substituting the data, we can find out the weight percentage of the carbon and hydrogen. This is the estimation of the carbon and hydrogen by combustion method in Liebig's method.